Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. My buddy Rhett. I have an almond here for Rhett. There you go, girl. It is Wednesday, March 18th. Almost halfway, or a little bit over halfway through March. There's 31 days of March, so I guess there's 13 days left. There's a freeze warning in effect. 33 degrees right now, so it's a little bit above freezing. I don't know what the low was, but there's that. And I'm just waiting for this thing to come up. So right now I'm sort of dealing with something I've never really thought about before. And that's, see, this, we're trying to sort of, okay, so I was working on, okay, we're up. Create, read, update, delete. And I thought I was completely done with delete. Like I was like, okay, I'm done with delete. But turns out that actually I should do this data. So it completely wipes out my memory when I do that. So now I'm going to add a visualization. So I thought I was done, and then I realized that, oh my gosh, when I come over here and I hit delete, and then if I go back, these objects still exist, and I really need to delete all the objects that go with it. And so I was like, okay, so we're going to work on animations. Seemed like a good idea. Terrible idea. I should have worked on scenes. So now the thing is when I delete a scene by ID, I sort of need to let the system know that I need to delete the meshes for that scene. And then once I delete the meshes, then I can look and see if I could delete the animations. But I do know, and at this point you can't really do it, but I do know that like one of the core requirements of this application is that I can reuse these across multiple visualizations. And that leads to some pretty interesting problems because we want to make sure that we don't delete something that's being used by something else. So, oh, that is good. So I am deleting scene by ID. That's not a good name. It should be delete scene by ID for renderer, right? For renderer. And I do have found it to be very helpful to add the ST. And I don't know if I'm actually using that yet. Doesn't look like I'm using it. But so basically, this is a delete the scene, but it knows that the renderer exists. So basically, um, this matters because like something has to know what. Okay, so what got me thinking, what really put me in a weird twist was that when I delete a renderer, right? Because that's what this is all about. I'm deleting a renderer. When I delete a renderer, then the scene for that render should get deleted, but only if it's not being deleted by another renderer. And like, so who should know if a scene is being used by a renderer? Well, probably the renderer service. But would the renderer that I'm deleting already be gone when I go to delete the scene for it? Because that matters because when I say, hey, get uh, renderers for scene ID, I want to make sure that I don't actually um, I want to make sure I need to wrap my mind around what happens when the scene, or is the renderer already gone or is it not? So when I get my list back, am I going to have the current renderer that, because I would think that I would delete all the pieces and then I would delete the render. So that renderer actually already exists. So to know if a scene is deletable, I need to know, and this is for renderer, right? This is specifically for the renderer ID. And then I need to also pass in the ST renderer ID, right? So now I'm trying to delete the scene for the renderer ID. Now, the thing that actually deletes the scene probably should just delete the scene. That's probably all it should do. Like if it gets the command delete the scene, it goes and deletes the scene. It doesn't. Well, I probably don't want it to be um, smart. I just want it to just delete the scene. So, but if I want to delete it for something else, so it may not even be like there may be other things in the future or something. I can't think of anything else right now, but so delete scene by ID, right? And so this all it cares is that there's an st scene ID. St scene ID, which one to delete? This is that you point and I punch kind of idea, where it's like, hey, you just tell me which one to delete. I'm gonna delete it. I'm not. I don't care. This guy's one has to make sure that um that it's okay to delete it. And this one is like the one that understands what the renderer is. I mean, this is the one that understands, oh, okay, so this is deleting for specifically for renders. So if anything else ever comes up, then um if anything else ever comes up, then that's where we would hand it. And I was thinking like different ways of doing this, and like one of them would be to like kind of pass in like a variable and then say if this then that, if this then that, like that kind of thing. And I think that makes a lot of sense, but I do like the idea of like functions over branches. So I'd rather have a function that just does it, and then instead of having like if then logic. And that's exclusively because of unit testing. All right, so this is going to just delete. It's not going to determine if it's being reused. It's literally just going to delete it. So that means it's going to see, it is 841. Is one, it's going to remove it from the dictionary. Remove the scene from the dictionary. And two, it's going to recycle the ID. ID. So basically, we're going to remove the scene from the dictionary. I'm pretty sure that we have a scene dictionary. Yeah, st scene dict. And then it's also going to delete it. But um, now the other thing is I'm doing a lot of engineering that doesn't need to be done right now, and that's because that engineering that I'm talking about is the like we can't even have two scenes, the same scene in multiple visualizations. So like is del is scene deletable for render or ID right now would always return true. But it's like um um but the thing is I think I really want to sort of enforce that anything that knows about the renders, it lives in the renders, in the renders thing service. So get renderers for scene ID. So this one goes and gets the renderer for the scene ID. And then I believe so. And now I have to think about an Angular specific thing, and that's like two for root services cannot um, inject each other. And so, like this one, I can't have. See, this is provided in root, so that means that the I can't get a direct link. I can't inject a direct thing from the renderer service because the renderer service because that's just like kind of a thing in the in Angular. Angular like gives you that a cyclic error if you take two for root classes or services and then you inject them into each other. Um, so um, I actually can't. I don't think I can inject the in the renders in. Okay. Yeah, in our render service, I'm pretty sure we're probably already. Yeah, see, we're already deleting the scene the scene. We're already injecting the scene, so we can't inject the renderer into that scene. And I don't really understand the reason for it, but as you can see, like this guy, he's at the top and he injects everything. So actually, I don't think for a practical purpose this will work because um like here, theoretically what I would do is I would ask the renderer service for the list. Or yeah, get renders for the list of renderers. But we can't because this service is injected is because this service is injected to the st renderer service. And this is sort of like a kind of a concept that I've run into a ton of times, but I had never really thought about. So one of the things that are, but you know, we had one of the things that I kind of came up with is that maybe I think we can actually create like a non-for root renderer service that injects the st renderer service, and then we can inject that class into this one. So, and that class will a have a will have a link, a reference to the for root service. I think you can do that. If I remember correctly, we did a bunch of experimenting, and I guess maybe I should call it a static, like st renderer dash static service.ts. And then see, I think that's what we have to do. And so now we are so in the weeds of Angular specific, right? And that's why like this is so hard, right? This is like way harder than like if someone just kind of explained how everything works and they're like, "Ah, okay, then it works." It's just because of little things like this. And I don't know that this kind of not being able, I don't think there's a good reason why you can't, why two injectable entities couldn't inject each other. Like, I don't think there's a good reason for that. I don't know that for sure. I've never heard a good reason for it. But anyways, Control P, and we're going to go into the package, and we're going to create a static scene service, right? No, static renderer service. So let's try to find Control F. Now things have changed a lot. So st services renderer, st renderer. I think that's still right. I don't know if that's right. We have done some pretty good um, um, refactoring over time, and that was 12 months ago. So it wouldn't surprise me if we've changed some stuff around. All right, so this is going to go into services. So I guess that's into app services, and then it's going to go into ST. See, I think this entity's got added. utilities, UI. Yeah, see, I think now it's entities, not that. And now, and then it's ST. Okay, so I think what we want is this guy. And we're going to try to, here's the theory, and I don't know, I'm not 100%. I think this is going to work, and I only think this is going to work because I think we did some pretty good um, deep dive into this, but I think this is going to work. ST render static. Static. Okay, so this is not going to be a for root, so we're going to remove the for root. So, but I I think I could still use the injectable and inject its like sort of doppelganger, and then I think I can inject that into the um scene service. Now I am like on the limb right now, right? Like um I don't know for sure that this is going to work. So like I'm sort of treading very carefully. But so what I want to happen after, ooh, we missed the entities. That's what I think we want. Render render static. I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it works. Kind of hate to have any kind of like at this point, all my like, oh my gosh, we want to do a commit right now, blah 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 blah, because it looks like there's a good bit of changes. Yeah, I think it would be absolutely awful to lose this. Okay, so we want this. We definitely want this one. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's try to do a reasonable commit right now so that we don't lose, because this was a lot of work um, to get this working right, this app data stuff. And I don't really like committing things like this. Actually, this is all going to be just a temp commit. Um, so everything but package and README I want to add to our commit, which it does have a little extra that I, don't care about that much. And we are headed down a whole new rabbit hole right now. And a big reason is because I do want to get like I feel like we kind of made it through the path once to creating like a static service that references a injectable service and all that. We did that once, and like with repetition, you get more comfortable. But so I do this all the time. So I'm gonna say git commit dash m, and then I'm going to say temp. So please don't commit this. So I hope I don't commit this. I might end up committing and pushing this. Sometimes I do that. I get like distracted or something, and then I'll just end up doing it. Temp commit to save vid table routing fixes. It's like, okay, so what am I? Yeah. So that's why we did it. We do a little bit more, but and I really do hope I revert this commit before I do this, but I don't want to lose that work. Okay, so now let's go back to our package. Let's look at the whole thing. And then what I like to do at this point is sort of imagine the change I expect, and the change I expect is for there to be a new class, sibling class in this renderer. And this is a brand new thing for me. I mean, I've never done anything specifically like this before, or if I have, I don't really remember it. I may have done it for this project. I can't remember, but I don't see static, but that doesn't mean I didn't make a static one. SSOT. So the first S is for the service, and then the st is to say this is part of st, and then render static with a c. So we want to see a new thing come in here. And then I think by default, it's going to make it like a for root service, which I don't want. And I don't know why this is taking so long. Sometimes you kind of have to give it another enter for it to actually run. I've, I think everyone who works in Angular is aware of this, probably even Interact and all those, that there's like kind of, sometimes the console just gets stuck or weird or something. And I might be overestimating myself, but, okay, so I screwed that up. Okay, so let's delete this. And that would be a lot harder to do if we, okay, so services, entities. Oh, I missed the ST now. Slash ST. Let's try that again. So we want it to show up in there. We're trying it again. Ooh, I gotta go. And I actually think I could have just pounded through this very quickly. Um, I think, sometimes you think that and you can't. But let me get this and let's just get rid of this at injectable. And we don't want this here. And basically, but well, we do want this inject. I think we can do this inject. So anybody who creates a version of this static service, if you create a version of this, it's yours. It's not a singleton. It's an instance service that's just like if you make changes to it in another service, it has its own version. It doesn't it the state won't move across other things. So this is just an old-fashioned. Oh, I actually had come up with a name, huh? A potato. That's right, a potato. Um, where it's a plain old TypeScript object, and then I can't remember what the rest of the plain old abstract, plain old TypeScript potato. And then the A must be for like abstract something or something. I don't know. But anyway, so this is a potato. Um, that's right. It's just a plain old JavaScript. This is a potato. Potato. I can't even remember. We spent probably like a week doing this before. So anyways, we need to create a potato. A potato is a class that is not injectable. It's not in the injection tree or anything like that, but I believe we can still inject things from the injection tree. And then if I do that, I think I can get this and instantiate it and then um, um, use it. And then I can get an instance of this renderer service, and then I can create an instance of this potato object in this scene service, and then this scene service can ask this renderer service to get information from my ST renderer service that is a singleton. Um, I think you can do that. I'm pretty sure you can do that, at least at this point in time. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.